All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
What's going on, everybody? Back for another UFC show with my man, Big Marley. Talking fights. We got 13 of them in Vancouver, Canada. That means a live crowd. Live crowd, always good. 13 fights. Fingers crossed we keep them. Always good. Great main event. I wanted to see the Ritter Fluffy, no doubt about that, but a very similar fighter in Brendan Allen, so I'm excited for that main event. Only one favorite above minus 450 right now. As you can see, we'll go through a couple line movement things. I put these up on Wednesday night. It was a busy week for me, but there was some line movement since yesterday, so I'm excited to talk through it. My man, Big Marley, how are we doing today?
Good. Yes, not the greatest card of all time, but we still got 100K up top. I remember the days where we used to beg for 100K cards, so can't complain, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Back in the good old days. But yeah, I mean, the prizes were way less. So the good old days, the bad old days. I mean, people didn't know exactly what they were doing in MMA. I think it was a lot softer. People, a lot more sharps have joined. The COVID days really grew the sport, though, which is exactly what we want. When we're talking some DFS, next week we do a pay-per-view season, Aspinall and Gone. So we should get some big prizes there. I mean, we got a bunch of cards to finish out the year. So I'm excited for that. Who do we got in chat? Always YSN. Good to see a YSN. I hope you did get in the Discord. I haven't seen you in there because you got that free membership last week, though. So Takedown in here. Good to see you as well. Yeah, any broad slate overview, Big Marley, before we go fight by fight?
I think it's a pretty tough one. I was really searching for 5-star fights on this one. Got a handful of 4s. I was really going to put the main event as a 4 as well. So I might change this up as we go. I just threw the Dober fight as a 4 as well. But yeah, it's kind of I haven't built lineups. I did all my research on Sunday and then a little bit here in the last couple hours. I was doing some. But I'm actually going to be on vacation for this card. I don't even know if I'll be able to watch it. I'm going to go down to Florida for just hanging out with the wife for this weekend. So if I'm at a bar watching it, hopefully I'll have a sweat going. But we'll see. I'm going to have a limited number of lineups this weekend just because I don't know if I'll be able to change anything, but hoping we keep all these fights.
Hey, that's awesome. Good to see you. You need help connecting to Discord? Go email. You can email info@shipination.com. They'll help you out. Otherwise, I think more maybe frequent ask questions. You can click on this, and I think maybe that'll help you get in the Discord. YSN. Otherwise, if you don't know yet, email info@shipination.com. Good to see you in here, Nickel, as well. My Brewers, they stink. They're down 3-0. We got some Sunday night football going on right now, too. Or what am I talking about? Thursday night football going on right now. But you enjoy your vacation. What did Big Driggs say? Sorry about the – yeah, there you go. Yeah, we'll go fight by fight, bottom to top. I mean, yeah, the Brewers they can't hit themselves out of a paper bag, as G. Risen likes to say. That team is pathetic, no doubt about that. But, hey, these fights, let's hope to try and win some money this week. Broadside overview for me, I like plenty of live dogs. Again, this is now Dober lines, minus 450. We do have Betkov, minus 320, but only one favorite above minus 350. That means a lot of live dogs on this card. I agree with Big Marley. Like, there's not too many 5-star fights. I do think main event's the best. I think there's 2 clear mid-tier fights for Vola Nelson, Malat Holland. After that, I think it'll be relatively spread out. So when we go through the cards, I don't know why this isn't showing. You do have it a 4-star, and we have it on the stone showing a 4-star too. So we'll get that taken care of. But that's my broad slate overview. A lot of live dogs on this card because there's only one favorite greater than minus 350 right now. If you do want to join us at the Nation, you can see right above 5 days for $19 using the code SHIP19. Can't get a better deal. $19. If you sign up right now, you get a bunch of NFL. You get, Thursday right now, but you get 2 Monday games again. You get early Sunday football. You get main slate football. You get some NHL. I think NASCAR, college football. Shout out to the college football team. Absolutely crushes. Dave said, yeah, super spread out or super balanced spread out ownership. Yeah, I'm looking at our ownership projections right now, our initial ones. No fighter above 50% right now. and only 3 above 40%. So you nailed it on the head. And we don't even have one under 10% right now. I wouldn't be surprised if a couple got to like 8%, maybe a 7, but I agree with you. I think that's a good broad slate overview as well. Ownership pretty spread out on this card. All right, let's start bottom to top like always. Not a fight I have too much interest in, but the only fight where you will see the cheaper fighter as the favorites. We have Melissa Croden minus 122, Tainara Lisboa plus 102, plus 150 for this fight to finish. Croden plus 275 inside the distance, Lisboa plus 375. This fight's really easy for me. I mean, I have no interest in Lisboa unless you think she can wrestle and have success. And again, she is probably wanting to get it to the mat. I think Croden has the clear advantage on the feet. The only one making their UFC debut this week, but she looked pretty solid on the feet. Has finished all 6 of her wins. Now, not against great competition. 5 have come by knockout, but I don't really think Tainara Lisboa is very good either. So I want your take on this fight, but also Croden wins. I say she scores 78. What percent do you think is optimal? 10x. You always talk about that. What do you think that is optimal at 7,800? Break this one down, and good to see Nate D. A lot of fellas in here probably watching a couple different screens. We appreciate you all hanging out.
Yeah, on this card, 78. I think it could get there. So I'd give it a good 20 to 25% chance, right? I don't know. I think that'd be pretty decent. And I'm not too interested in this fight because I do think that's kind of where her win points will be if she does get it done. I do think she's probably the better striker. If she can keep this at range, I think she's going to win the fight. But Lisboa, I think, is a striker as well. But she is the more proven fighter, the one I think that can mix in takedowns in this fight. And if she can get takedowns, I don't know. I don't know how good Croden will be off of her back. I didn't do a ton of research on this fight, to be honest with you. But I'm kind of just going against the grain on this one. I think that Croden will get ownership because of this line movement. And I'm going to try and stay away from this fight, hoping that Lisboa wins a split and she only scores 60 to 70 herself. It's more of, I'm going to play it like a 1-star because I'm probably not going to play it with 10 or less lineups this week. But if I was MMing, I wouldn't want to get burned by having no Croden, so I'd want a little bit of her. Wouldn't want to be too far under the field. And then Lisboa, I think that she will be one of the lowest owned fighters on the card. And if she does win, I would think that a couple takedowns are going to come in there, and she could hang on to 6 to 8 minutes top control. So I would not X out Lisboa in the big flagship.
Fucking mute donkey. My bad. So if I'm playing 20 or less, I know. If I'm playing 20 or less, I'm probably, I don't know. I've expanded my pool. A lot of sharps do that. The more lineups I've been playing. If I'm playing 5 or less, there's no chance I'm playing Lisboa. 10 or less, maybe not. Yeah, definitely a mute donkey here. Here, I'll let you in on the secret that Big Marley and I are laughing. So he cannot figure out his volume to hear me. So we have him on the phone. So he can hear me through my phone, but I didn't realize I was on mute. So me and Big Marley was the only one that could hear me this whole time. And then I realized that. So that's why we were both laughing a little bit there. But that's been like that for like a month or 2 months. Big Marley's got to figure it out with our tech guy. But if
I did one time and then it went away. I don't get it, but yeah, I'll have to get him on here.
Yeah, if Lisboa scores 84 though, she still has to outscore, I think, 2 very solid mid-tier fights. Malat Holland minus 210 to finish, for Vola Nelson minus 210 to finish. Like, she still has to score. So like, just say she scores 85, which I think would be a really good score for her as an underdog. Like, what percent of chance is that on the optimal
for Lisboa?
Yeah.
I would be interested. I don't know that she has that in her, but I would give it just the same, maybe even a little bit more, because I don't love the upper tier range this week. So maybe, like 23 to 28, something like that. All
right. Yeah, I still prefer the Croden side. I think she wins. She has taken money. So as you see, like when there's an underdog on the card, usually they were the underdog with DK release pricing. She opened plus 235 in this one. Got down to like minus 110. Lisboa took some money. So Croden was then around the plus 140 range. Got down to plus 105 again, then went back up to the plus 150. It's bounced back and forth. But as the week's gone on, Croden's taking a little money. I expect it to close somewhere around here. I just think at 7,800, the 600 savings, if both girls scored 75 in a win, Croden has a lot better chance to be optimal. But by no means do I love this fight. This is more of an underweight fight for sure. If I had neither of these girls, I don't know. I'm going to get a little Croden for the price, but I won't have much Lisboa, I do not think.
And all of Croden's wins are finishes, six finishes. Both losses are by decision. One of them was to Jacqueline Cavalcante, and she's a good fighter. So I do think she has the higher ceiling with her finishing potential, but girls who have never won by decision and all of their decisions have been losses coming into the UFC, I kind of like to lean the other way when everyone's on that girl. So, or any fighter, but particularly WMA. So give me Lisboa.
No, that makes sense. We'll keep it rolling. I can't even talk. I'm getting so excited because this fight is one of the better fights on the card, in my opinion. Azamat Bekov now minus 320, taking on Yusuri Belgoria plus 270. This fight's minus 225 to finish. Bekov minus 110 inside the distance, which was one of the best in the slate. And Belgoria plus 300. I'm probably butchering the name. You know who I'm talking about. First thing that stands out to me, plus 270 money line for Belgoria, plus 300 inside the distance. Almost every win the books think is by finish. The second thing that stands out, look at that height and reach advantage. He'll have 5 inches in height, 7 inches in reach. Like, it's really clear. This dude is dangerous on the feet. He's really big. Bekov, a solid striker himself too. 8 wins by KO, 8 by submission. But why I like this fight so much, like, Bekov should wrestle early and often. I don't know why he wouldn't. It feels like the biggest advantage for him. If he doesn't, I don't think either guy even looks close to minus 300 if it's on the feet. Bekov, I think, will be one of the more popular plays on the slate. Second biggest money line, second biggest inside the distance prop and round one prop, and the fourth highest price. So everything checks out there. He's going to get ownership, which makes me even like Belgoria even more. Most of his wins finishes, or should be finishes, according to the money line inside the distance prop. And you get a lot of leverage off a chalky guy, and he himself will not get much ownership. So I love this fight. If I had to do one other 5-star fight, I'm probably putting this as the 5-star fight. It's close. The Malat and the Frivola fight, just because I don't love the other mid-tier options too much. But I think this is my favorite outside of the main event, like upper tier, lower tier fight on both sides. And I want to get overweight on this one. How do you see it?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, just you saying that Belgori ITD line is the same as the money line made me move this to a 5-star because I like Bekoyev as one of, if not my favorite pay-ups on the card this week. So both of them have big ceilings, and I was going to change one of the fights to a 5-star before we were done. I just changed that one, but I'm also thinking I might change one of the Holland fight or the Frivola fight. So once we talk about those, I'm sure one of those will get changed as well. But yeah, this one's going to be a good one to fight. I mean, a good fight to target because Bekoyev could get the knockout really in any round. But if the striking's not going his way, he should be looking to wrestle, and he could finish the fight with ground and pound on the ground. He could also land a decent amount of strikes while he's on the ground, and he could rack up control time too. Belgori is a tall, long, decent kickboxer. So if this fight is at range, I think he would be probably picking Bekoyev apart, and I guess, finish him along the way. It makes sense because I just don't see how it would be a 15-minute striking match and Bekoyev would just accept that and lose that way. Like, he's going to have to close the distance and either land a bunch of strikes on the inside, knock him out, or get the takedowns. So either way, I just think we're going to have a big score in this one. My preferred play is Bekoyev. I do think he is going to get a finish in the first or second round and put up a big score in this one. But yeah, Belgori is going to be a good underdog to target as well. At 7,100, he could definitely break the slate.
Yeah, I actually think he's my preferred play in this one, just with the leverage he offers with the lower tier that I don't love too much. There's definitely viable options down there, but if you're telling me every single underdog won on this card, he has top 2 upside in that lower tier for sure, and you get a bunch of leverage. So, and I think Bekoyev is one of the highest owned fighters on the card. Again, the 4th highest price, but the 2nd biggest money line and inside the distance and round one prop. I like it all. I like Bekoyev. I like Belgoria. I think this is a very good fight to target, and Big Marley did say he changed it to a 5-star. let's go from one of the best fights to target to one of the worst fights. Stephanie Luciano minus 280, Ravana Oliveira plus 240, plus 200 for this fight to finish. Luciano plus 300, Oliveira plus 550. Yeah, I mean, this fight is as gross as it gets. We look at the stone right here. You will see Oliveira 1 significant strike per minute, 2 takedowns. She's 7-2, but this is like one UFC fight, and it was against Lisboa. And I mean, it was really, really gross. Like Oliveira 7-2. I mean, she fought Uber drivers half of the fights pre-UFC. Like this girl, I don't think is very good. Now Luciano, she's young, she's fine. She throws some volume, but at 9,300, this fight reminds me of Pilastri of last week, except I like it even worse. Like Pilastri's inside the distance was still climbing. I think it closed like plus 225. I mean, Luciano's minus 140 to win this fight by decision. I do not see her being optimal if it goes to decision. Highly favored to go the distance. I think it does. I think Luciano wins. To be honest, if I had to pick a preferred side, I'm probably picking Oliveira just because you're expected 15 minutes from a $6,900 fighter. Women's MMA, anything can happen, but I do not like this fight much. What about you?
Nah, I'm not going to be playing this fight. I would prefer the Luciano side, though, just because she will be unowned. And I do think she has a big striking edge in this one and could get a finish with some decent volume leading up to it. If this fight stays on the feet, I think she probably dominates. And it could be a finish if that's the case. Oliveira should be mixing in takedowns here. I mean, I don't know that she's a good wrestler, though. I feel like she is she has more one-punch power possibly, but this is WMMA, and I just not expecting a knockout at 115 pounds. And if she does get takedowns, I don't think it'll be very many of them, and I don't think she'll be able to keep top control very long. Luciano is used to opponents trying to take her down, and I think she will stuff most of them at least long enough to win 2 rounds on the cards. But if she does win a decision here, I just don't know how she's going to be on the optimal lineup. So I'm just going to full fade the fight, hope that it is extended, goes to the 3rd round, or she does win a decision. But my preferred play is Luciano as just a pure way to get different, because that TKO is it could be available.
Yeah, that's fair. Maybe I should circle. I don't know. I don't like either. I had them both as underweight, and I could make a case for the fact of, again, Oliveira, any win at 6,900 is fine. 9,300 Luciano, like minus 150, she wins by decision. But I always like doing what you do, looking at, all right, she's plus 300 inside the distance, plus 300 is 25%. And our projected ownership has her at 13%. So if she's double the likelihood to get a finish than she is owned, I can make it like I'll keep her in the pool in very chalky lineups when I'm playing the main event, when I'm playing the Malat fight, Frivola fight, the Bekov fight. Like when I'm eating all the chalk, that's when I'd play her. If I'm getting different in any other spot, I prefer many others in the upper tier more, but it's fine. I mean, I want to be underweight both, but both will be very low owned on this card. So if I am playing either one, I am definitely going to be chalky in a lot of other spots, but it's not a fight I want to target much of at all. I think 2 of the worst fights on the card, this Lisboa fight and this Luciano fight. Going to a pretty good fight, the biggest favorite on the card, Drew Dober minus 450 taking on Kyle Prepelic plus 350, minus 200 for this fight to finish, minus 135 inside the distance for Dober, plus 500 for Prepelic. Looking at it again, it was minus 550 on Wednesday, so $1 of steam came in on the Prepelic side. Again, I did mention this card is in Canada. A lot of these fighters, some of them are Canadian. Prepelic's one of them. I'm not going to say like all of them that are from Canada. If you want to look, you can go on Tapology. It makes it pretty easy. I don't change my game plan and stuff, how I'm dictating like my lineups. A lot of the time, like if it goes to decision, they're already probably more than likely not going to be optimal unless they're an underdog. So I don't really sway my stuff depending on where it is. Judges stink wherever they go. So I wanted to mention that. I mean, Prepelic, he's 0-3 in the UFC, 18-9 as a pro. Dober, he's getting up there in age, but he's the same age as Prepelic. He's fought everybody in the UFC. 25th walk to the UFC octagon, Drew Dober's making. Really impressive stuff. Always game, always fun. I mean, he used to have a steel chin. It's got cracked a little bit as of late. Can Prepelic be the one to crack it and break the slate as a very low-owned big dog?
I mean, he could. If Dober's chin is cooked, Prepelic could just break the slate here because that's his only chance. He's got to go out there, be crazy hyped up in Canada. The only reason he's getting another chance in the UFC is because his fight's in Canada. So he's got to go out there and just try to kill Dober. And maybe it'll take one shot. Maybe Dober's chin is done. So I would want Prepelic exposure here if I was making multiple lineups. I have him as a 1-star because I'm not going to be MMAing on this card, and I don't think he's any good. I think Dober's just levels above him everywhere this fight goes. And I also think Dober has a lot more knockout power too. A better chin historically, but man, when it goes, it goes. And he's been knocked out a couple times recently, and I would worry, man. I would be worried about that chin, but I think Dober knocks him out. Probably in the first round. I think Prepelic goes for broke, and it's going to be a knockout one way or the other, but give me Dober to get it. And I want exposure to him for sure. And if I'm making 10 lineups, man, I might end up changing Prepelic to a 2-star because I don't know that I want no Prepelic with 10 lineups because he could just ruin your night early.
Yeah.
He's not good. It's just one shot, you know?
I was worried you were going to say that because I'm in the same boat. Like I had him as a fade, but I have enough of these fighters as a fade at his ownership, the leverage off of Dober. I mean, he's going to come out there swinging, and Dober welcomes those type of fights. So if that chin is cooked, seeing the dollar steam on the way back, I think I'm gonna dictate the line movement tomorrow and stuff, and then Saturday I'm really gonna watch that line. And if it keeps closing, I think I might mix in a little Prepelic. If it gets Dober back to the -500 plus range, probably I'll fade him. And I'm talking 10 or less. Again, 20 teams. I'm fine playing all 26 fighters. That's what a lot of the pros do. I like to follow. Did I hang up on you, Big Marley? No, I didn't. Oh, I did hang up on you. All right, now you got me. Sorry. Yeah, if the line goes to the -400 range or even better, so if Prepelic keeps taking money, then I'm gonna get some of him. If it gets back to -500 Dober, -550, I'll probably fade him, take my shot. There's a plethora of live dogs on this card. Again, we talked about $7,800 favorite, Bagoria, who I like quite a bit. Santos right now, he's $2 better on the money line. He's a lot more likely to win. Bruno Silva has upside. Davey Grant's super live. We can go up and down the card. I like Brendan Allen when we get there. So I'm gonna dictate what I do with Prepelic based on line movement. If he continues to take money, I'll get some. If not, then I'll probably fade in 10 or less. Appreciate that takedown. Really close. Really close. Close doesn't cut it though. All right, let's keep it rolling. Next fight on the card. Danny Barlow, left hand to God, taking on Jordan Santos, -300 Barlow. Santos +250, -180 for this fight to finish. Barlow -110 inside the distance. Santos +400. I'll throw it to you right away on this one. Break it down.
Yeah, I expect a striking match in this one. Barlow coming off a knockout loss where he was the favorite. I'd say he is the better, more athletic, more dangerous striker in this one. But Santos could win a striking match just based on volume alone. I also expect him to be the more likely wrestler of the two. So if it does go the distance, I think that it could be an interesting fight, and Santos could be live in this one. If there's a first-round knockout, I would think that it's Barlow knocking him out and scoring 110 points that way. And I think that would be the way Barlow makes it onto the optimal lineup, because if this goes past the first round, it's going to be tough for him to make it without multiple knockdowns. I don't expect any takedown attempts from Barlow, and he's not a crazy high volume striker. He can strike with volume, but he's more dangerous striker in my opinion. So that's what we're hunting for with him, would be the knockout. And then any Santos win, I think would be could compete with the optimal lineup. So I like both sides of this one. Not even sure my preferred play. That's why I have it as a 3-3. You could definitely get me to switch it one way or another though.
All right. I need you first to mute yourself on your phone.
Is that what that is? Oh God.
Now we're good. Yeah, I totally agree with the Barlow. There's so many guys I prefer in the upper tier because I think he is almost round one or bust. For sure, round 1 or 2. A second round knockout will be iffy if he makes it there. Probably needs at least one knockdown. After that, there's just no wrestling upside for him, where there is wrestling upside, obviously, for De Ritter. There is wrestling upside for the Bekoff side. Other than that, though, like the upper tier doesn't have too much other wrestling upside in it. Santos, if he wins anything, again, 75 could be enough at 7K on this card. Again, I prefer him to Preplik right now because he's plus 250. Preplik's plus 350. And he's plus 400 inside the distance is Santos in this. Like Barlow just got knocked out by Sam Patterson back in March. 5 months later or whatever it is, coming back after a pretty brutal KO. Santos has some power in his hands as well. I honestly don't love this fight too much, though, because I think Barlow probably wins because I think we get a striking match and it's hard to pick against him in a pure striking match. But again, if it goes past 2 rounds, like I think he's almost drawing dead for the optimal. So I do think Barlow wins, but at 9,200, you really have to get there. And I prefer others in the upper tier. So this is more of like an even with the field fight for me. And if I was underweight, I'd honestly be fine with it as well. Honestly, don't even have a preferred play. If I'm more overweight to Santos, I'm fine with that. If I'm get 40% Barlow, I will manually lower that because I don't love fighters that are like need a first round KO and a second round KO might not even be enough. I don't love banking on fighters like that, especially he's plus, what is it? Dober was plus 235 in round 1. He's taking money. Barlow's plus 275 in round 1. So what is that? 26%. And we have his projected ownership at 28%. So I guess looking at that, maybe I just want to be around that 28% mark, or right around the field about his round 1 prop and go about it that way. Santos, he's a fine live dog. His ownership is definitely low, but like on my tier rankings, he's not going to be near the top in terms of the lower tiers. Like I prefer the Bulgari fight that we just talked about, but I do prefer Santos to Preplik. Another dog I prefer to Santos is this next one in Bruno Silva. He's taking on Hung Sung Park. I think this is going to be a fun fight. Minus 210 Park, plus 180 Silva, minus 160 for this fight to finish. Park plus 115 inside the distance. Silva plus 350. This fight open minus 130 to finish. Now minus 160. Park open plus 130 inside the distance. Now plus 115. Silva open plus 425. Now plus 350. I think this is low-key contender for fight of the night. I think these guys are going to throw down. I think both have big-time upside for their price. Park at 9K, like he just can't be that owned because his money line is worse than some others. Again, he's going to get some ownership, but DeRitter's 8,800, Park 9K, like spending 200 more, not many, or I shouldn't say not many, but it's clear as day, him, DeRitter, Bekoff, they're going to be higher owned in this spot. And I think Hung Sung Park has just as much upside. Bruno Silva's chin, I'm worried about it. But if Silva wins, I think it scores for 7,300. Like he is one of my favorite dogs on this card because I think it's a fun, high-paced fight. He can mix in his wrestling, which I think it'd be really smart to do because Park's got big boy power. I'm worried about that Silva chin, though, so I'm picking Park, but I like both sides of this. I want to get overweight. This fight and the Bekoff fight are definitely my favorite 2 fights that we've talked about thus far.
Yeah, I like this fight. I think that either side could mix in takedowns in this one. I would say that Park's a more dangerous grappler, but Silva's a solid grappler himself, and the takedowns could go either way. I like Park to be the quicker fighter and just have, land more volume throughout 15 minutes and just do more on the scorecards. But if that's going to be the case and it is taking place on the feet, then we really don't want him. I think that we want him to be grappling or we want him to get a knockout. So I'm not sure how much I love the Park side in this one. I do think it could be a fight of the night contender. And if that's the case, we do want some of him. But I also think that the line's a little bit wide and Silva can keep this fight close wherever it goes. So I kind of lean Silva as my preferred play, but that would only be if I need to save the money. If I have the salary for whoever, then I'd prefer Park. I do think he is a little bit more dangerous everywhere, has the higher ceiling at this point, and can just do more minute to minute. So I would prefer Park if salary wasn't a thing. But man, I would much rather get to Bakoyev. I would try to find the money to get up to Dober because I feel better about him putting his opponent away in the first round. And then there's also people I think that can score more than Park who are priced under him. So I just don't know how much I'm going to get to him. And I would say for me, it's closer to a 3-star than it is a 5-star.
All right. And that's probably our first difference on this card. Actually, the first fight, you like Lisboa a little more. I like Cronin a little more. But yeah, I'd not argue. Like, I think Bruno Silva is a very good live dog in this spot. 9,200 or 7,200 is cheap for his upside. The Park stuff, though, like I will be looking, like instead of Luciano, instead of Furo, like I will be looking, build a Dober team, I'll go down to Park. Build a Beckhoff team, just drop 100 there. You will get a pretty good ownership discount when you are doing that. Next fight on the card. Really curious to hear your take on this one. Like real life, good fight. Man, it's close for me though. Charles Jourdain minus 170, Davey Grant plus 145, plus 130 for this fight to finish. Jourdain plus 225 inside the distance. Grant plus 400. So we had Jourdain open minus 200. 5 hours later was minus 108. Line stood there for a little bit. Like a couple days later, he got down to like the minus 140 range, minus 150, minus 160, minus 170. It just slowly but surely went Jourdain. But seeing him open minus 200 and then went to a pick'em 5 hours later, Davey Grant's game. There's no doubt about that. Never been knocked out. When he loses is either by decision or submission. Jourdain, a primary striker, he does have sneaky grappling, but a lot of the time it's like his opponents initiate the wrestling or the grappling and he finds the neck. I don't think Davey shoots in this one. We don't really see Jourdain wrestle. As you can see, 0.34 or takedowns per 15. If it's on the feet for 15, it's hard to click 8,700 Jourdain, which leads me to Davey Grant being my preferred play. I think it's a close fight. I think it goes to decision. Jourdain is the Canadian. Again, I'm not really using that in my process at the end of the day, but yeah, how do you see this fight going? Do you see a finish possibility?
I don't think we're going to see a finish. I expect this one to go to the judges, and it'll be a pretty fun fight, a high-paced fight on the feet. I would think that Grant should mix in a takedown or two throughout this fight. I would give him, a one takedown prop. And the volume could be on the Grant side as well. I think that Jourdain is more dangerous on the feet and he's flashier. It is in Canada as well. He's 10 years younger. But Grant, 39 years old, he's in the prime of his career. And I think that he would be the one leading on volume in this. And I also think he is the one that would land more takedowns. If he can get a takedown, I think he can keep top control. And I don't see Jourdain submitting Grant. I think Grant's a more dangerous submission artist than Jourdain. I'm pretty sure I've seen Grant get like a reverse triangle submission, like one of the few I've seen in the UFC.
Was that against Asunso when he had his hands and toes in the cage super bad?
God,
and just when he just ruined. I mean, the ref just ruined Asunso. He was dominating that fight. I mean,
really.
Oh, it was.
But
bad.
I remember being impressed. Like, holy shit, I haven't seen one of those in forever. But I just don't think that this would be the fight Jourdain pulls off a submission. It'd be more likely, in my opinion, a knockout if Jourdain is going to get a finish. But I think this goes to decision. I much prefer the underdog, really on the money line and in DFS. So I'll be overweight on the Grant side. And limited lineups, I doubt I get to Jourdain.
I prefer Grant too. But for sub props, so Jourdain open plus 900 by sub. Now he's plus 650 by sub. Davey Grant open plus 2,000 by sub. Now plus 1,400 by sub. So people are taking both sides for the submission. Obviously, long shots. They're like both more likely to get a KO. However, plus 400 for KO for Jourdain, plus 650 by sub. It's not as wide as you might think. And again, a lot of that, when Davey Grant loses, I believe it's 3 losses by submission, none by knockout. And yeah, we have seen Jourdain submit people. So I wish that's the stuff you really have to get on early. I don't really bet on offshore books. But when you see wide numbers like that, I mean, you don't have to hit them often to hit plus 900. Probably not much value in the plus 650 prop, but did find that pretty interesting. Minus 160 for this fight to go the distance, though. I expect that usually when that's the case, especially when there's not wrestling upside for the favorite. Davey Grant is my preferred play for sure. Great fight right here. Again, we appreciate everyone hanging out. Like button, subscribe button helps us out a ton. I always like Matt Steamroller for Vola fights, minus 120. Taking on Kyle Nelson, plus 100. Minus 210 for this fight to finish. Both guys plus 165 inside the distance. Pretty good round one props too. For Vola, plus 350. Kyle Nelson, plus 400. I'll be all ears for you. I'm a little biased on Steamroller. And I don't love Kyle Nelson most fights, but the last 6 fights for Favola all ended by knockout. I'm hoping this fight ends by knockout. I'm going to play it that way. How do you see it going?
Yeah, I mean, for Vola's last fight, it almost looked like he was gassing out because he didn't get the knockout, and it almost seems like that's the type of fighter he is now. Go for broke. If it doesn't work, then it's not going to be good the later this goes. And I do think Fivola's the better first-round striker. I think he's more dangerous in the first round. But after that, I would think that Kyle Nelson's more likely to win, the second half of this fight. It is also in Canada. He's the Canadian. I would think is the better 15-minute wrestler at this point. Favola could go in there in the first round and try and land takedowns. I don't think that would be smart of him to do. He should just try to knock off Nelson's head. But this is one I'm really looking to target heavily. I think this is closer to a 5-star, and I might move it to a 5-star, but closer to a 5-star than a 3-star. I prefer Favola. A little biased as well. He actually followed me on Twitter before I followed him. So I love when that happens. But I'm going to be rooting for him. I think it'll be a much more fun fight if he wins. But if he doesn't get the first round knockout, it might be a second or a third round knockout from Nelson. And either way, we're going to have a big score in the mid-tier on pricing. So I just think that the pricing almost makes you have to make this a 5-star, right?
Yeah, I agree. It's close. This fight and the Malott Holland fight was close for me. I slightly prefer this fight just because what you said. I think it's as for Vola's got up there in age. I mean, he came into the UFC as a wrestler. This dude was wrestling pretty heavily. He's just a fun fighter, but I don't think he has the cardio for that. I know he smokes a little weed. Whoa! You got some ghosts going on?
Whoa! My computer's going out. Hold up. Not sure what's going on. My monitor's in and out.
Oh, that's trippy. Oh. No, he's frozen. I don't know. What I was saying, Favola smokes a little weed. I know that a little myself, and I was running up the stairs at the NFL show, run down the cardio, the lungs can get a little tough. But I mean, Favola comes out there just swinging bombs now. I don't look at him really as a primary wrestler anymore, and I think it would be a mistake. I echo a lot of what Big Marley says. I think he, in round 1, has the advantage, more powerful. He'll bring it, and I think he'll knock out Kyle Nelson. But if he doesn't, Kyle Nelson's by far the more steady fighter, and then I think he takes over. So I'm looking at this as a live betting fight, and if Favola gasses and he can't get him out of there, I'll be looking to hammer Kyle Nelson pretty good. I like this fight a lot, though, for DFS. Any Favola team easily can beat Kyle Nelson. I'm going to pick Favola since I think he has more power. He could do it in round 1. But it's not the most confident pick by any means. It's just a fight I really want to target. And when you look at other mid-tier fights, do not like this Lisboa Cronin fight much. Definitely don't like this Zahabi fight much. Do like the Malott fight much. So it's clearly this fight and Favola fight, kind of the story of the slate. Main event, Malott Holland, Favola Nelson, and then kind of just Bekov. That's where the chalk is. And if you are playing almost all of that, that's when you play a Lisboa or a Luciano and get different that way. But those are clearly the main fights to target on the card. I do like this fight a lot. I prefer Favola. I think he has more round 1 upside, but I will be looking to live bet Kyle Nelson if Favola does not get him on out of there. All right, I'll keep it rolling until Big Marley. Oh, right there. I think he's back, but next fight on the card, Cody Gibson taking on Arichi Long. We got Cody Gibson minus 170, Arichi Long plus 145, plus 120 for this fight to finish. Gibson plus 265 inside the distance. Arichi Long plus 300, plus 300 inside the distance. This was the one that I was actually really hoping to get Big Marley's thoughts. Of course, the timing goes away. Gibson, what I do like to see in this, open plus 285 inside the distance, now plus 265. You see both guys average over a takedown per 15. Both of them are in a price where Gibson just can't be owned on this card. DeRitter's 200 more. People are going to want to go more mid-tier fights and then go up top, and then they'll pick one guy down below. So in chalkier lineups, I will be playing a little Cody Gibson, can put a pace on, can try and wrestle. Arichi Long, though, is my preferred play, I think, unless Big Marley was going to talk me out of it, just because he's 1,000 cheaper. Now, I don't love this fight much, but I don't want it to ruin my night. 7,600. I think more than likely if he wins, it's probably by decision. He's tough. Is 76, is 80 enough on this card? I don't know. it's fine. I would take it. It definitely one in my portfolio, but I just don't see the 95 plus upside in this one. I give Cody Gibson his heart, his cardio. I give that enough respect, and he can mix in takedowns or at least grind it against the cage if he is hurt a little bit, where I don't want to be too overweight. Let me fix this. Maybe we won't be getting them back. One sec. Wait, what'd you say? All right. He's trying to get back in. I definitely want his take on this one. Arichi Long is my preferred play for the 1,000 savings, but this fight is favored to go the distance at minus 150, and it opened minus 150, then went to minus 145 back to 150. So not too much line movement on this, but minus 180 for over 2.5. If it does go over, I almost always prefer the 1K savings. Arichi Long, my preferred play, but I agree with Big Marley. This is a 3-star. And probably I'd even almost lean it a 2-star over a 4-star if having to choose. So it's not a fight I want too much exposure to. When Big Marley gets back, though, I will get his take on that one, because that was the one of all these fights on the card, the one I've been most indifferent to all week. This fight, Mano. All right, sounds good. All right, you're good. He's restarting his computer. He'll be back, and we'll play catch up on those certain fights. The next fight, Manon Fiorot taking on Jasmine Jasudavicius, minus 225. Fiorot plus 190. Jasmine plus 270 for this fight, plus 275 for this fight to finish. Fiorot plus 400 inside the distance. Jasmine plus 600. This one's really easy for me. Like, we get a striker versus wrestler matchup, but the striker's $1,600 more coming off a title loss to Valentina. I think Fiorot's a very good fighter. Easily, I mean, she should be favored. Her path to win this fight, though, keep it at distance, bounce around the cage, and just outpoint Jasmine. She needs the stuff takedowns. Jasmine, primary wrestler, averages 2.61 takedowns per 15 minutes. At 7,300, it's clearly dog or pass for me in this one. If she gets takedowns, her top control is good, and she will just keep trying to chain takedowns or stay on the back. And her striking has improved every single fight. So she's outmatched on the feet, but I don't think she's getting knocked out in this one by any means. Fiorot, I think, is one of the worst plays on the slate at 8,900. I think Jasmine's a very live dog. Like, I prefer her to Oliveira. I prefer her to Prepelic. I prefer her to Santos. There is 90-point upside in this one. If she just gets a takedown around, and Fiorot doesn't have answers. Again, Fiorot has showed solid takedown defense in most fights. Valentina's a different beast, but Jasmine, 7,300, primary wrestler, easy dog or pass for me in this one. I will not be playing any Fiorot in 10 teams or less, 20 teams or less. I mean, I really don't like it. Plus 400 inside the distance is not very good. I would rather play probably Luciano. I'd probably rather play, actually, even though she's a little more expensive in the upper tier if I was getting different. Definitely would rather play Park to get a little different there as well. But yeah, just build a Fiorot team, drop down and play the mid-tier, the Frivolas, the Malats. I don't know about Cody Gibson. I still want Big Marley's take there. Jasmine, good play. Fiorot, a bad play in my opinion. Next fight, another fight that I do not like at all. Ayman Zahabi, minus 135. Marlon Chito Vera, plus 115. This fight's minus 300 to go the distance. Chito Vera plus 325 inside the distance. Zahabi plus 600. Every Chito fight, he always takes round one off. He gets better as the fight goes. You just can't do that in 15-minute fights. Zahabi's been on a roll, but he's just, look at this, 4.42 significant strikes per minute, 4.27 for Chito. No takedown upside on either side. Minus 300 for this fight to go the distance. Minus 335 for over 2.5. This is the worst fight on the card. If I had to have one-star fight, I don't blame Big Marley at all. I would have this as a 1-star too, but I would have Zahabi, Chito Vera at 1-star. I will have none of this fight in 20 and below. If I picked a side, it'd be Chito. He actually has really big power, and he's 7,700. But I think Zahabi just outpoints him at the end of the day. I'm not going against his streak right now. The hometown guy as well. I just think he's the more technical, better striker. He stays safe, and he outpoints Chito to a 64-point DK decision, which we do not want any bit of. So not a fight I want at all. Next fight on the card, co-main event time. We have Mike Malott and Kevin Holland. Straight pick 'em, -110 apiece on BetOnline, -210 for this fight to finish. Malott +160 inside the distance. Holland +170. A lot of these props are very similar for this. So Holland +350 by KO, +500 by sub. Malott +450 by KO, +350 by sub. Another fight I've been going back and forth on, and I won't have a strong lean in DFS. This is why I always preach like MME over single entry. There's a $1 stuff, $3 stuff, obviously the 18 or whatever it is each week. Like instead of playing a $12 single entry, I'd play 12 teams in the $1. There might be 50 cent too. I'm not allowed to get in those contests, but 25 cent dime contests. Like I would always rather play a lot of teams that can be for a lot less money than I would be one single entry. And it's for fights like this. Like it probably scores well, just like the Frevola Nelson fight. Same inside the distance props pretty much, same finishing, all of that. It's just if you pick the wrong side on a coin flip fight, you're drawing dead to win. So I want pretty even exposure. And I've gone back and forth. Like everything's telling me Kevin Holland should win this fight. I think the biggest advantage is Kevin Holland's speed on the feet. He also 8 inches in reach, 2 inches in height. On the feet, he should pop the jab. The overhand right should be there. I think his just speed advantage is way better. However, he has negative fight IQ. One of the most tilting fighters when you back him. Like the Wonder Boy fight back in the day. Hoop shipped that one. He had Wonder Boy. Kevin Holland gets a takedown when he's getting pieced up on the feet. He lets him up. He couldn't even get to round 5 in that. He broke his hand, but he was getting absolutely dominated by Wonder Boy. Again, why would you let him up against a primary striker when you have him on the mat where you want him? That's just what Kevin Holland does. He's there to put on a show. He's a fun fighter. Where Malott in front of his hometown crowd, I think he tries to wrestle early and often. It'd be smart. Kevin Holland can be stuck on his back. So I've gone back and forth. Big Marley obviously looks like is picking Malott. I don't blame him. If Holland fights smart and uses his speed and keeps it on the feet, I think he wins this fight. He gets a knockout. It's just really hard to bank on Kevin Holland fighting smart. I'll throw it to you right in this one, Holland Malott.
All right, can you hear me?
I got you.
All right, good. Man, that was rough. All right, I do like Holland here. Malott here. I just think he is the one that is more up and coming at this point. He's more dangerous. I think he has more to fight for, where I just don't trust Holland's going to come in trying to kill Malott. I also don't know that I trust Malott in a 3-round decision. Maybe I trust Holland a little bit more there, but I just don't know what kind of fight we're going to see here. Is it going to be a more tame fight, or is Malott going to try and kill him, and then that's going to bring it in or bring it out of Holland as well? I'm not sure on this one, but I think that it could be a 3-star. It could also be a 5-star. So my preferred play right now is going to be Malott based on the finishing potential. I do expect him to be a little bit higher owned as well. And if the line moves either way, I do think that would change ownership. But I was trying to get my stuff up. Who are you picking in this one?
Yeah, I was really going back and forth. I'm picking Holland, and I hate doing it, but I just think the speed advantage on the feet for Holland, I'm trusting a fighter that, again, has no IQ. But I think the biggest advantage, like both guys are good submission guys. Malott is the better wrestler, more likely to spend time on top, which I'm worried about. But when it's on the feet, like that reach advantage, the speed advantage, I think the power advantage, I just think the speed's going to be too much. But I have zero confidence in that, because how do you ever have confidence in Kevin Holland at the end of the day? I do I think now that we talked through it, I prefer Frevola Nelson fight over this one, because I just feel more confident Frevola is just going to come out there and be Frevola and gas faster. Whereas again, like you never know what you get in Kevin Holland fights. And I think this one's more likely to be pitter patter. And I don't see that happening, but I think if one of the fights were to go the distance and be boring on the feet, I could see these two just exchanging at range.
Yeah, same as well. And then I did hear you talking on the Gibson fight. I do think
please tell me that one.
I do think he is a solid side, because the line, when I was doing this fight, it was almost a pick'em fight. He was a super slight favorite. But if he is going to win like the odds are indicating that he should, then I think it's going to be a higher paced, wrestling heavy type of fight, because that's where his big edge would be. If this is a striking match, I think that Arichi Lang would be the better fighter in this one and the more dangerous striker too. So I would want Arichi Lang in a striking match based on his knockout potential. And if he does win a striking match, he could score around 70 or 75 and compete. But if there's 100-point decision in this fight, it's the Gibson side for sure.
Yeah.
And he could also get a submission in any round. So Gibson is my preferred side in that one. I'm picking him to win. I think he has a pretty high ceiling and he could fight at a high pace, which is what we want for sure, especially because they come out with the prices after the line shifted. It would have been nicer if we got him at the mid-range. And then on the next one, I'm not going to play any Manon Fiorot. She's our striker here, the better striker, but I don't think she's going to get a knockout. And at 8,900, it's kind of what we're going to need. She can land in takedowns like in other fights, but she's not going to want to take down Jazuda Vicious. JJ is going to be the much better wrestler, the better grappler. And if JJ wins this fight, she could look like she should have been a minus 400 favorite. So I will play JJ. I just don't think she wins. I think Fiorot beats her in a striking match and just doesn't score enough. So that's why it's a 2-star. It's a complete fade for me on the Fiorot, but I am interested in the underdog that I'm picking to lose. And then the next one, you said 1-star. I think a 1-star is completely fine. I put it as a 2-star because I'm picking Vera to win a close fight. And if it is a high volume fight, then he could compete at 7,700. So Vera or pass in that one for me.
What's high volume?
Like the Vera Pedro Munoz kind of thing, where they're not fighting at range, they're more up close, just going back and forth. And Vera lands 120 strikes, 140 strikes, something like that. I don't know. I doubt that's the case against a Zahabi. Zahabi's just too good at defense.
Makes this shit so boring. He's so defensively sound.
Yeah, Zahabi's the problem, really. I'm never interested in Zahabi fights, and Vera's fallen off in my opinion, but still, for me, it's Vera or pass.
Yeah, I prefer Vera for sure if choosing. I think I'm just going to fade that fight. I was in lockstep with you for Fiorot. I really wanted your Gibson and Ricci long take. You probably talked me into a little more Gibson than I was going to have. But yeah, like he wants to wrestle. He can push a pace. He has good cardio. I totally agree with all of that. And his ownership will be in check. So to be honest, actually, now that like I prefer Gibson over Jourdain, but the stuff of like build a Barlow team and go to Cody Gibson. Like that's something I'm totally fine doing on this card. Cause like if both went to decision, like Cody Gibson has the way higher ceiling. A lot of higher tier guys this week, like outside of Bekov, like they're primary strikers. Dober's not going to really wrestle. Luciano's not really going to wrestle. Barlow's not really going to wrestle. You weren't even sure how much Park's going to wrestle. So like if Gibson wins, I mean, through wrestling, that can get there in a lot of different ways. So yeah, and I'm going to play some Ricci Long too at 7,600. I do think Gibson does push a pace. 7,600, 78 could be enough. So I like this fight more than I initially did. That was the one. The timing was awful. The one fight on the card I really needed your take, but I'm happy you came back and you gave it to us.
I thought my computer was dead. I was like, oh no, dude, what a time to die.
It was tripping for sure. I didn't know what was going on. All right, we got the main event time again. Big Marley's back. Appreciate everyone hanging through the technical difficulties. You don't have to hear my voice constantly anymore. Again, like button helps us out a ton. Subscribe button. And if you want to join us, 5 days for $19 using the code SHIP19. Best time of the year. So many sports going on. And hey, NBA will be back next Tuesday. Very excited for that. Main event time, another fight. I'm really curious to hear your take. Good fight. Renee de Ridder, minus 220. Brendan Allen, plus 185. Minus 260 for this fight to finish. De Ridder, minus 105 inside the distance. Allen, plus 255. How do you see it going? And then are you going to lock this fight?
No, I'm not going to lock it. I actually was thinking about putting it as a 4. I was going to have it as a 4-star. I put it as a 5-star because I wasn't sure what to move as a 5-star. So I was like, main event, got to do it there. But no, I think that this could take place on the feet way more than we wanted to. These guys we're training partners or are training partners. I don't know that they're going to go in there and try and kill each other if they're buddies.
Brendan Allen was chirping a bit. Allen was chirping.
I did kind of hear a little bit of that. And I don't really know the whole backstory either, but I just think that could turn into a more of just a hard sparring match, and that would be terrible for DFS. And if RDR wins a striking match, that's how he's off the optimal lineup. And I don't know if he's a good enough wrestler, grappler to go out there and really dominate Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen's really freaking good on the ground. So I don't think that RDR shoots unless it's not going well for him on the feet. I do think that Allen would be the one to look to wrestle early in the fight, but I don't think he has 25 minutes of wrestling in him. So I just think it's going to end up taking place on the feet way more than we want, and I don't think we're going to get a knockout. So I'm thinking it goes to decision, and it takes place like 20 minutes on the feet. And they're not going to be high volume strikers. So I kind of want to get away from this fight just based on it being high owned. And maybe I'm picking RDR to win, but if he wins and he scores 80 points, he's probably not on the optimal lineup. And I think that's somewhat in play. So I might end up moving this down to a 4-star now that I've put another 5-star or 2 on there. Because now that we've talked about it, I like the Bakoya fight more and I like the Frivola fight more. So I would even rather go down to Frivola from RDR, get half of the ownership, and maybe more points, and leaving that salary makes you different as well. So yeah, the more I talk about it, the less I like it. Because I expect a striking match here.
And I mean, we just saw last week fights that seem like must-haves. Charles Oliveira wasn't on the winner last week. I think he scored 93. Again, each card's independent to each other. You need other big scores. You did mention that, though. I mean, we said, like, what, a third-round submission or something like that. It was possible. Now, I got to ask you this. You're on DeRitter, but you think it takes place on the feet more. So you think DeRitter's a better striker than Brendan Allen?
I would say a better 5-round. I would trust him more over. I just don't really like Allen after the second round in a 5-round fight. If I don't like him in a 3-round fight, I'm not going to like him that much in a 5-round fight. But that is recency bias too. I picked him against Imavov and it looked great for me, and then it went bad. So maybe it is a little bit of recency bias. He is training for a 5-round fight here, so if he's not shooting for takedowns early, then I think he would be fine in a 5-round striking match, and maybe he would be okay. But the wrestling is what I think will wear him down, and he would be the one I think does shoot in this fight.
That's interesting. Brendan Allen, because Brendan Allen was like, I promise DeRitter's going to shoot in the first 30 seconds or the first minute. Like, he's real confident that he's not going to be able to stand with them. And I'm picking Brendan Allen. I think, now, take that with a grain of salt. I X'd out DeRitter. A lot of that had to do with ownership against Bo Nickel, but I haven't been on the DeRitter stuff nearly as much. The GM3 fight just threw me out. Like, GM3 was outstriking DeRitter, it seemed like. Like, that was the grossest. If you go back and watch the GM3 DeRitter fight and you look at this minus 220 line against Brendan Allen, like, I can't comprehend it. Now, every fight's, again, some fighters have bad days. He still found a way to win. He's definitely a weight bully. He's very big. I 100% agree. The cardio, the longer this fight goes, the better, like, DeRitter has a chance. Like, he keeps walking forward. But I just don't see, like, how he can be minus 220. I think Brendan Allen's the better striker. I think he's the more dangerous striker. I think on the mat, sure, maybe DeRitter has better top control, but I'm not even sure. Like, Brendan Allen's a really good grappler. He can wrestle. I do worry about the 25 minutes. I agree. But the fight's minus 260 to finish. Over or under 3.5's favored at minus 135. Like, all of this just doesn't make sense to me. I'm gonna have more Brendan Allen to the field than I will DeRitter. The price difference, $1,400, allows you to save more money. Again, DeRitter has burned me a lot. I'm not going to fade him by any means. Like, I'm going to play some, but I like Brendan Allen in this fight. I got him by KO. Dave, you got him by sub. I don't hate that at all. Maybe a club and sub. I just think, I mean, Brendan Allen's really confident that DeRitter is going to shoot. And I agree. I think the leg kicks will be money. And I just can't get the GM3 DeRitter fight out of my head. Like, if GM3 is starting to PC up a bit, but again, DeRitter's proved me wrong. I'm not trying to argue that. I wanted Fluffy against DeRitter. I mean, I would have been on Fluffy. There's no doubt about that. Fluffy's the man.
For sure.
I mean, Brendan Allen, Fluffy. Like, look how that round 1 went. I mean, Brendan Allen looked like $1 million. Fluffy had to dig deep and do it. So, yeah, the short notice kind of for Allen. The longer the fight goes, maybe another live betting spot. I'm more overweight to Allen to the field, but if we start to see him fade, maybe that's when I hit DeRitter and you might get some plus money. So, yeah, I'm on the dog here in Brendan Allen. I think You talked me into for sure not locking it though, and maybe even slightly maybe underweight to Ritter, overweight Allen, and then right around the field fight fade. You definitely scared me that it mainly takes on the feet, and it very well could, because I think Allen will dictate kind of where this fight goes, and he was very confident in that when he was talking. So, yeah, any final thoughts on that or on the whole card?
No, I mean, hopefully I am able to watch it. I don't know what mine and the wife's plan is, but if I could have a sweat, near the beach, that would be sick. But I might just start it out, see how it goes. And if I have a sweat, I watch it. If I don't, I go enjoy the beach. But hopefully it's a fun one. Hopefully it's a profitable one. Good luck to you, Title. Good luck to everybody listening. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but let's ship it this weekend.
Hey, where are you going if you don't mind? I think it's big enough where you won't get some random trying to show up. You don't have to say exactly where you're going if you don't want.
I'm going to Fort Lauderdale.
Nice. That's awesome. Right near I was born, Hollywood, Florida, Joe DiMaggio Hospital. So you're right near where. No, I didn't grow up. I moved very young, but that's awesome. You enjoy it with the wife. Yeah, I mean, hey, the wife will appreciate probably if you put the phone down and stuff. If you're at a bar watching, that's how you do it. If you got to sweat, she'll understand. But enjoy the weekend with the wife, the getaway. That is always very nice. Appreciate everyone hanging out. That'll do it for us. Again, projections, ownership, all content will be up tomorrow. Like always, like button, subscribe button on the way out. Helps us out a ton. You are welcome. Appreciate all you guys. Dave, Big Driggs, YSN, Carmi, all of you guys make this show fun. Hey, comment. I want to hear the main event take down below too. Allen to Ritter. That's a fight. And two of them. Allen to Ritter and Malat Holland. Those two I'm very curious to hear where you guys are at on the field. So that'll do it for us. Appreciate everyone hanging out. For Big Marley on Titletown. Be safe. Good luck. Peace.